Oh, come on. Hello, everybody. It's for Sonia O'Sullivan that I do the things that I do, for people like Sonia O'Sullivan, with the mindset that she has. In fact, I just came from the Institute of Sport, where I work every day, from our new high-performance training centre, and left the room leaving an Olympic gold medalist from Ireland, so you can guess who that was, and an Olympic silver medalist from Russia, in the same ring, supporting each other to get better. The Olympic silver medalist from Russia has now turned professional, so she's not going to be a problem for our Katie Teller in the future. So my journey, I guess, is most well known from a boxing perspective. And while Philip mentioned, a short space of time, you can't get too much across within it, the key focus for me is intention, right? That sense of courage around the ambitions that we set ourselves. That if our athletes set very, very clear ambitions to stand on a world stage, to be the best they can be, that we as leaders and coaches have to do the same. That if we lack that courage, well, then we can't actually create the environment, we can't actually assist in terms of developing the mindset that's required to deliver that. So when I took the boxing program over as a leader and put the team together, one of the big challenges for us was taking a team from underperformance, from taking a team from a mindset that had built a whole host of excuses as to why they couldn't achieve at the highest level, and create an environment that allowed those individuals to engage and take responsibility around their own potential. And I often feel when somebody is in front of me now as a leader and talking about the intention they have, that I get a clear image of whether that person is connected to that intention or not. And in Ireland, we often set the intention a little bit low just to be safe. And when somebody puts their head above the parapet, we're very, very quick to slap them down. But in boxing, we set an intention to consistently stand on world podiums, an intention that had never been achieved before. It made people uncomfortable, it made people wrestle, it made people question why we would actually set an intention like that. In fact, people struggled with the fact that we call ourselves a high-performance team, or we call ourselves a high-performance athlete or a high-performance coach. They struggled with that language, as if to tell us before we even made our first steps that we didn't deserve to think that one day we could belong there. And in making those first steps, before you arrive at being world class, you have to start thinking you're world class, you have to start feeling you're world class, and you have to start acting long before you ever get there in a world class way. The big shift for us around that team was that intention. I can't overstate that, in fact, that the intention drove a motivation for action that was very, very significant, because ultimately that intention led to a purpose, and that purpose was to become world class. And that's where the opportunity existed for everybody that joined the team, whether it was Billy Walsh moving from his club into the national program to be Ireland's first head coach. And for us to say we wanted an Irish coach to lead a team because we believed that Irish people could become world class. That if we were stating that boxers and athletes could become world class, well then why not Irish coaches becoming world class also? We also appointed Billy because we wanted a legacy within the program. We didn't want to go to Beijing and produce one medal and then dip off and never appear again. We wanted to go and repeat it time and time again. We wanted to prove that we could put a system and environment in place, that we could put experts around our people, that actually we could build a mindset that could compete against the best in the world, and on occasion could beat the best in the world time and time again. We produce world and European champions in every one of our programs, from youth to junior, senior men and senior women. We've taken 7 Olympic medals in the last 2 Olympic Games. The sport has won 16 Olympic medals in its 100-year history. And it goes back to that intention. It goes back to that mindset. Why is it that we step off it in this country? Why is it that we don't set it high enough and tell our athletes that they can reach that space? We are seeing progression within our other Olympic sports and within our Paralympic sports year on year, cycle by cycle. This movement is on its way up. But we're still not there with regard to the mindset. We still have to shift the culture in this country around sport and what we expect of our sporting heroes. We've seen a movement from the rugby side, we've seen a movement from the boxing side, and we need to see that followed by other sports. And I believe we can achieve that. Yes, we don't have the resources of others. Yes, but we are smart people. If we use our resources really well, we can actually get a greater return on our investment than our biggest competitors do. I don't believe money is the complete answer, but I believe it's what money can do in terms of putting the expertise around our athletes and moving it forward. When we stepped into the Institute of Sport in 2009, we had no building, we had no computers, we had no facilities. We were meeting athletes in the space and saying, we're the team that's going to assist you in becoming more world-class than you currently are. And they were laughing and smiling at us. Well, we had a vision for that institute, and ultimately, 5 or 6 months ago, we opened a £4.5 million high-performance training centre, which is catering for 20 of our national sports and 250 of our athletes, all coming through the same space. So my last point to leave you with comes from Joseph Campbell, a quote from him, and I really liked it when I found it. And that was, the big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to your adventure. The big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to your adventure. In high-performance sport, more and more we're saying a hearty yes, and more we're setting the ambition at the standard it needs to be. Thank you.